All right, welcome everybody to round two. We've got OldRich on Mono Fire at the bottom of your deck. And what is Mail packing for us here, Stormguard?
Mail is
Xenan?
packing the exact same Xenan midrange deck that they took to the top 16 of the latest Expedition Open. Um, I think. Hmm. Yeah, okay, so I definitely agreed with Old Rich's initial mulligan being on the draw with nothing to do until turn 3 was.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have played out the auto treads, but the odds that those get sniped and you end up down in cards against the Xenon deck is very, very likely. And I like their keep here much better. You curve out perfectly with the 1 drop, the 2 drop, the 3 drop, and just looking to slam face against the Xenon. Ooh, but an Owlhead certainly does a lot of work. I mean, you've got the Flash Fry to remove it out of Old Rich's deck, or perhaps like Salvo in conjunction with the unit. But their ability to deal with this cleanly is certainly an issue, especially if it starts growing into a 5/5 off the 6-time influence.
All right, let's see what Mail's working with. Got a Time Sigil, Send an Agent, Suffocate, 2 copies of that Wisp, and the Big Owlhead. And we saw that Big Owlhead do absolute work in the Rainbow Sling decks. So we'll have to see how it does here in sort of traditional Xenan. But that's a big hitter in those Sling decks. Let's see if it can keep it up in this one as well.
Absolutely. Well, with more and more people gravitating towards less copies of Send an Agent in the main deck and opting for, as you see, perhaps more reactive cards such as the Just Desserts and Smite, the odds that you're able to stick an Owlhead in most matchups moves up significantly. Hey, what do we here? I'd probably lean Vadius.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. Also, that looks like there is a display bug for everyone. You can look at the hand cam, see those 3 cards in hand for Mail. Don't worry about the 20 that the game says that Mail has. It does not, just has the 4. And drawing Trailmaker. Trailmaker, I was going to say not really on time, but notice that Mail is stuck on only 3 power. So maybe you do want to stick that Trailmaker so you can actually start deploying threats next turn. Thankfully for Mail, they've actually been able to deploy most of their hand being power screwed, but probably going to want to get that Trailmaker down so they can deploy this big Owlhead here in a minute.
Absolutely. And then I mean, like as we can see with the friendly wisps, once you are able to get your power online for that Owlhead, the card draw from the friendly wisp will most certainly recoup any advantage that you may have lost in the early game. But this Vadius is going to start swinging in. If, hmm, I don't think I would block here if I were male with the Owlhead, but that certainly remains to be seen.
OldRich going to draw a second copy of Shugo Standard, which means next turn playing out this Fire Sigil is going to transmute this into a 4/2 Overwhelm combat trick. Here you go. Mail is slapping off that block.
Ooh, okay. Oh yeah, certainly. If they decide, I didn't. Okay, in my defense, I didn't think that OldRich would. In hindsight, with 2 pump spells, for next turn plus the Steel Fang Chakram, if they really needed it. Seems like a fine option. Ooh,
That's going to draw a bunch of cards from Mail. That was well timed there. Going to play out a second copy of Owlhead Ascending off the top, and that's going to draw 4 cards there. Talked about mini Helios here. There you go. Play your Owlhead Ascending, draw 4 cards.
And even without the 6-time influence, thanks to the buff from Vadius, that it managed to boost.
That is pretty funny.
That all had.
The top unit rep in the enemy deck, it's +2/+2, so a little bit of a little bit of a drawback there, coming back to bite OldRich.
I think you're. I'd either. I'd probably want to try and hold up. Send an agent in some way, shape, or fashion. That is an excellent way to blow out the mono fire deck when they try and go for the pump spells. And it's probably that and curtain call is the best way to leverage your advantage against the mono fire decks.
Really a merchant here going. We've got Impound, Swirl the Sands. Going to grab Swirl the Sands there.
Yep. Uh, Definitely one issue with the time fatties based list is that they might still just lose to a flying Belax. And I think considering the setup of their market, I think that either that or perhaps the Silent Hysteria would be the option that I would go with if I were male. Right. Unfortunately, not much going on. Ooh.
Yeah, well, here comes that
Probably.
exploit for male. I wonder what you take here. Maybe you just take the weapon? But you can deal with that. That doesn't seem like a big threat from OldRich.
Yeah. I think either that or the only
Yeah.
in Prism Golem.
Yeah, tough choice indeed. Yeah, gonna take the weapon.
Okay,
Gonna
so
take the
you go.
chakram here. It's fine. I think that's very defensible taking that. That's one of the things that can that's one of the ways that OldRich can kind of cheese out a win with the weapon. So I understand taking that there. And here you go, big all head coming down. So if you haven't seen this one, it is a 6/6 for 5 with the Inspire ability, double the attack and health of units you draw, and then ultimate, pay 4 and put one of your other units on top of your deck to give all head its attack and health. And we saw in the finals of last challenge on Friday, putting in Enoris Roa back on top to draw it again and gain a whole bunch of health. That was kind of incredible. If you didn't see the finals of Spring Challenge 7 on Friday. That was pretty cool to see Alhed be used that way. All right, Prism Golem and Pyro Knight here. So OldRich deploying out their units, but they're a little ways off from stringing together a huge threat. They've got the 5/5 double damage, they've got the pump spells, but Male has a bunch of blockers that is at 25 health and just played a 10/10 Moonstone Vanguard. This one seems like it's slipping away from OldRich here.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, with OldRich's draw, they just weren't able to piece together enough aggression, really weather down Male in the early game to the point where they were actually able to kill Male in any with decently powerful turn. And yeah, as we mentioned, we've got the flame bot.
Oh, so here you
It's
go.
full for
Okay, I wonder. So you were asking before. It isn't just the enemy player. It's whenever a spell is played, it deals damage to the enemy player. So I wonder if it's less about the removal and it's more about the pump spells on the Detective Flamebot. You play that out, you give it double damage, you play Rampage, you play Shugo Tactic, and then it deals. And if it has the double damage, yeah, it actually deals the double damage. Yeah, so you give this double damage thanks to the Might Weaver, you can deal a lot of damage with Flamebot. So that's got to be what it's there for. It's a little cutesy. You got a lot of things have to go right for that to work, but I can see the draw there.
Absolutely. Okay, so just trading here, gaining another 5 life because why not? Moonstone Vanguard is Moonstone Vanguard is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really good. It's especially against decks that are trying to attack with units on the ground. It's just absolutely brutal. Even if they're big like this, it's just such a brutal card.
Trade the all head. Yeah, I can see that because since you have a backup all head anyway,
Right.
and 2 mono fire, I don't think 10/10s, 20/20s. It's just they're just giant and huge.
Male gonna line up the double block of the 5/5 all head, the smaller one, along with the Trailmaker and one of the Wisps. So I think what Male is trying to do is add up the combat tricks and say what combat tricks do I need to play around here? How much do I actually need to put? Because you don't want to put a bunch of units and then have them do a combat trick and your units not kill it. But there you go. That's going to be enough, and OldRich is going to make that trade. And here comes that defective Flamebot here. Another Moonstone Vanguard, though, off the top. Ouch.
Oh my goodness.
An attack, why not? It's got endurance.
Absolutely.
Let's attack. Let's draw a card. There's an exploit.
Enough with the Flamebot. Okay, so opting not to go for the defensive line. Ooh, taking one of those pump spells. That's bad news, Bears. Because
yeah, that's trouble now. Siege Train, that's not going to do it. I think OldRich is out of this one, unfortunately. Mail
Yeah.
doing a great job of putting up a fantastic defense, still at 25 health against this Mono Fire deck. I mean, that's an achievement unlocked on its own.
Most certainly. And yeah, ending up
Oof.
slightly below starting life. 15. Okay, that's not too bad.
That's not too
That's
bad.
not too bad. But
There you go.
Moonstone Vanguard just does so much in stabilizing against the aggressive decks. My gosh.
Sure does. All right, well, congratulations to Mail taking a first game over OldRich. Oh, I may have had those names backwards. I apologize. I had the names flipped on the scoreboard. My apologies, everyone. But Mail is going to take that one. I will switch that back. And Mail is going to take the first one. So we've got OldRich's fire deck here. Let's see if we can pull up Mail's as well with this Xenan mid-range. Interesting. Haven't seen a lot of Xenan in Expedition recently, but you know, it's the last big Expedition tournament in a while. Why not pull out something fun? Pull out something out of the bag here.
I think there's also something to be said of whatever deck you're comfortable playing. Like Mail, I I don't know how much Mail has been practicing Expedition leading up to this tournament. I imagine they probably have been drafting a lot. AO.
Yep.
Hope to see all of you at the draft open this weekend. But I think this is a deck that they practiced a lot. This is a deck they're comfortable with. I think makes perfectly sense for them to pack it here. Here out of OldRich, once again on the draw. This is not. Come on, come on. Yeah, play draw mechanics. Give the mono fire slack, right? I think okay. This is a fine hand. Got auto tread to possibly pick off Trailmaker. Should Mail Trailmaker or Friendly Wisp should Mail decide to go for that on turn 2, and then you've got Prism Golem into Might Weaver. Or now you also have Vadius into Might Weaver.
That's
Should
not
you
bad.
like to go for that? Not a bad draw at all.
Another power here. Now I'm going to play out that auto tread out as a 1-1 here for OldRich. As you mentioned, we've got Might Weaver, we've got Prison Golem, we've got Vadius, we've got lots of options now, but here comes an exploit from Mail. Mail also has a Suffocate in hand as well. I wonder if we see Mail plunder away just one of these random units, maybe one of the merchants, and then fire off the Suffocate. Although, maybe auto tread isn't the threat you're most worried about. Maybe you'd rather nail like a Might Weaver or something instead.
Yeah, I think certainly from Mail's perspective, if OldRich decides to dump a bunch of cards into auto tread only for me to okay, they decide to go with it here, but if OldRich dumps a bunch of cards into pinging with auto tread and I snap it off with a Xenan agent for like a 3-for-1, I think I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. All right, here's Vadius here. 7-2 Reckless. When it attacks, the top unit or weapon of the enemy deck gets +2/+2. Saw that last game as well. We saw that backfire pretty hard on OldRich last game. Mail going to play the Aurelian Merchant and go straight to the market. Let's see what their choices are. They've got Impound, Swirl the Sands, Upsat the Savior, Silent Hysteria, or Tuvan Skybreak Giant. A little far away from some of these. I guess Mail's at 5 power. Maybe they can get something big. Yeah, I was just going to say that Tuvan would be brutal against OldRich, but Mail's only at 5 power. But I guess, yeah, you get one more power, and that's going to be a brutal card. All right, attacking in here for OldRich. That's going to be 7 damage coming through from this Vadius here. And drawing a Trailmaker off the top.
Ooh. 2 units plus Curtain Call backup. That is not what OldRich wants to see at all.
Curtain Call backup, those 2 units. And if the Trailmaker survives, got the Tuvan coming down next turn as well. So things again looking pretty good for Mail.
And yeah, once again, the Blazing Sub. Oh, Blazing Sub.
That's cute.
God, for bonus. Oh, I like that.
Bonus damage, yeah. Get a Conflagrate. All right, Conflagrate gonna attempt to take out the Trailmaker here, but as we know, here comes the Curtain Call. That's gonna give them lifesteal and protect them. I like that play by Mail a lot. Units can't be killed. Ooh,
Oh no, the
I don't.
reckless
Oh no,
from
don't.
Radius.
Oh, it's the reckless. Oh, I was gonna say don't attack OldRich, but it's reckless. It has to attack. That is brutal.
Oh, and once again, we just see the it. I mean, like in some for some draws, if your opponent doesn't immediately flip a unit off your radius buff, it's fine. But once again, we see the fact that the salvo doesn't take out the trailmaker.
Yeah,
Really comes into play
that
here.
is true. That Vedia's downside has really played out here. That's unfortunate. And then gonna slam a 6/6 all head from Mail, and we know they've got a Tuvan backup as well, and now they hit that 7th time, and this one's just over now. This one's gonna be pretty rough for OldRich to come back from. Mail, although it might not end right away, because Mail can take their sweet time coming back from here if they want. OldRich really isn't going to be killing the Owlhead anytime soon, so just getting more and more huge units off the top for Mail is pretty good. I love how quickly Mail passed the turn back after hitting their 6 power. They were just like, "Oh, end my turn." Don't worry about the man behind the curtain.
Yep, that should be massive red flags. Yeah, no attacks. Very, very good. I mean, they couldn't attack in that position.
Yeah, I couldn't really. I mean, that's almost a downside is you couldn't ambush something. But if your board presence, if your blockers are so good that you can't ambush something with Tuvan, you're probably in good shape to begin with.
Ooh, opting to it here.
Well, I mean, I kind of like it because if you put OldRich in a position where they have to start blocking your units and start trading, that's just fantastic for you. OldRich's deck is not built at all to trade units from behind and try to beat you. They can't do that. So it's kind of a free attack. Like if OldRich says, "Fine, I'll double block," and you say, "Okay, sure." You also have Send an Agent, so if they double block, you totally blow them out. They kind of have to triple block, and that's fine. Like, okay. This is kind of the worst case scenario of those 3, but even in that case, I think it's still fine. I know it doesn't look good from that standpoint of like, wow, you just traded one of your best units, but like again, it's now you're throwing OldRich off the game plan. Now you're attacking with huge units, forcing them to do blocks. Although, yeah, I mean, I give credit to OldRich. That was the best block they could have made there. But here you go, 10 grand builder. Like, yeah, this is what you're gonna keep doing with that all head there.
Yeah, well, because the problem is, Mail knows that OldRich knows that Mail knows that they don't have a way to deal with the Owlhead besides just trying to kill it 2-for-1ing themselves with combat tricks. Like, there's nothing they can do about that. So as long as they don't endanger it in any form of combat, they're golden.
Yeah, there's just nothing really OldRich can do about it. So,
and yep, writing's on the wall.
Yep, and there it is. All right, congratulations to Mail for taking that one 2-0.